Unit 4, page 31. Read. Exercise 2. Read and listen to the text.
Targeting teenagers. Adults earn most of the money in the economy, so shouldn't most advertisements be directed at them? Over £1 billion is spent every year in order to target teenage customers. It's nearly impossible to visit a shopping centre or switch on the television without finding products and advertisements that many adults may not be interested in or even understand. Why are teenagers, a group with relatively little earning power, such targeted consumers? Today's teenagers have an unprecedented amount of money to spend on personal items. They have more money to spend than teenagers of any previous generation. Many of them receive money from their parents on a regular basis, and some teenagers earn money from part-time jobs. Around the world, there are millions of teens with a disposable income to spend on clothing, electronics, music, and other items. Because young people make a lot of the purchasing decisions for these objects, companies market them with teenagers in mind. Another reason teens are so important to marketing departments is that they influence the spending of their families. In some countries, such as the United Kingdom and Canada, teenagers may have an influence on up to 70% of the purchases for the home. Teenagers often have a say in the brands that the family buys, whether the products are food or personal care items like shampoo or soap. In fact, advertisers often market directly to teens because they know that teenagers can be very powerful and persistent about getting their parents to buy things or give them money to buy things themselves. Marketing departments know that getting people to switch brands can be tough. Therefore, it is important to attract customers who have not yet developed strong brand preferences or brand loyalty. Older teens who are going to leave school and become consumers are a perfect target for marketing companies. Because of their money, influence, and potential, teens are big business for most major companies. As a result, advertisers have many techniques to get teens to buy their products. Here are some of the most popular ones. A. Perfect world. This technique presents an ideal world. Everyone is attractive and hip, with the latest fashions and trendiest haircuts. The families are well off. They have expensive cars and homes. Families in these ads are smiling, and they get along amazingly well. These ads represent the world that most teens would like for themselves. B. Family fun. Bringing the family together is the appeal of this technique. Advertisers show a product as something that helps a family overcome struggles with each other or a difficult task. The product is often the reason the family come together. For example, Dad brings home dinner from the family's favourite fast food restaurant, and then suddenly the quarrelling brother and sister set aside their differences and enjoy a meal with their parents. C. Bandwagon. Join the crowd. Everyone has one. Don't be left out. This is the strategy of the bandwagon technique. Advertisers try to convince consumers that they need the product to be trendy. Usually, advertisers do this by showing people who are awkward and unpopular. The people try the product and then suddenly become popular and cool. These are just a few of the techniques advertisers use. There are also many others, including endorsements by star athletes, popular actors, and beautiful models. It is important for all consumers, including teens, to watch adverts critically. In other words, We should all think about whether we really want or need the product promoted in the advert, or whether we are simply responding to the marketing techniques.
Unit 4, page 34. Listen. Exercises 1 and 2. Listen to the interview.
I'm David Huntley and I represent Research Solutions. Today I'm researching shopper behaviour at the Tivoli department store in Hammersmith. Thank you for participating in our survey. What is your name?
It's Richard Lewis.
Thanks, Richard. Now, which type of shopper best describes you?
I have to think about it carefully, but I think I'm a bargain hunter.
OK, why so?
Well, I'm very careful with money. I don't like spending more if it's not necessary. I will go to 3 or 4 places to compare prices on expensive things like a laptop or an MP3 player.
I see. Anything else that makes you think you're a bargain hunter?
Yes, when I shop for food, I compare the prices of different brands. I always go for the best deal.
Does quality matter?
Sometimes. Of course, I wouldn't buy something that was badly made, but I would sacrifice a bit of quality for a terrific price.
I understand. Now, do you ever buy something you hadn't planned to buy?
I can't recall ever doing that, no.
OK, thanks very much, Richard. Excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions if I might. First of all, what is your name?
It's Daphne Smith.
Thank you. Since you've had a chance to review the types of shoppers described on our survey, I'd like to ask you which type you are.
Oh, that's easy. I'm a serious shopper. I organise myself before I go to the shops. For example, I make a shopping list of the things I need, and I always go to the same shops because I know where everything is.
Do you always find everything on your list?
Oh, yes. I don't come home until I've got everything I need.
OK. And how often do you buy things that aren't on your list?
Let me see. Last time I went shopping for a new winter coat, but I also bought a pair of gorgeous sandals. I just had to have them.
When was this?
About 3 weeks ago?
And have you worn the sandals yet?
Well, not yet. It's too cold. I'll wear them next summer.
Can you recall other occasions when you bought something impulsively?
Yes. Last month, I was shopping for new towels when I saw some terrific coffee cups. They were quite expensive, but I really liked them. I use them all the time. I was lucky, actually. I was able to get the towels I needed, as well as some new coffee cups.
OK. Thanks very much, Daphne.
Unit 4, page 37. Language skills. Exercise 1. Listen and check.
Hi, Jim. You look happy. What's happened?
I've just heard that the logo I designed for the school magazine has won the competition. Mr. Jones says it's perfect because the magazine is going to target both students and parents, and my design appeals to both generations.
Oh, that's great. I always thought you had the potential to be a designer. Your father works in advertising, doesn't he? Did he have a say in your design?
Of course not. Though, having seen a lot of his work, it might have helped. I did have some useful comments from my mum, though.
What will you do with the prize money?
I think I'll go shopping. There are some terrific deals in the sales at the moment.
Don't forget that there's a recession on. It's not a good idea to be wasteful with money, and I know you are an impulsive buyer.
It's not that much money, Katie. Having been a poor student for so long, I don't think I'm going to go crazy on a shopping spree with this amount.
Unit 4, page 37. Dictionary Corner. Exercise 3. Listen and check. 1.
It's common for teens to rebel against their parents.
2.
There's a lot of refuse in that empty building lot.
3.
The boys' conduct at school has been improving lately.
4.
The scientists will present their results at a conference next month.
5.
I don't object to sitting next to him.
6.
He hopes to set a record for distance running someday.
Everyday English 4. Teacher's Book. Page 108. Making and dealing with complaints. Exercise 1. Read and listen to the dialogue.
Customer Service Help Desk, Contracts Department. How can I help you?
Good afternoon. I'm ringing to complain about my mobile phone and internet package. I'm sorry to have to say this, but I'm really not happy with the service, and I'm seriously considering cancelling my contract with you.
Could you tell me precisely what the problem is?
Yes, my phone signal is often unavailable, and my internet access is always being interrupted. It's simply not good enough to charge me so much for such a poor service.
Have you contacted us before to report this?
Lots of times. And that's another thing. I often can't get through to anyone, and when I do, nothing seems to be resolved.
I can put you through to the technical department now to see if they can resolve the problem.
Sorry, but actually I'd like to terminate my contract. Can I do that now?
I'm afraid we need a month's notice to terminate your contract. You'll have to request a termination in writing.
I understand what you're saying, but that's just not acceptable. It's absolutely ridiculous. I really don't think I should have to pay for another month if you are not providing the service detailed in the contract. I'd like to speak to the manager.
Everyday English 4. Teacher's Book. Page 108. Making and dealing with complaints. Exercises 4 and 5. Listen to the dialogue.
Film Network, Customer Services. How can I help you?
I'm sorry to say this, but I'm really fed up with your service and I'd like to terminate my contract.
I'm sorry to hear that. Could you tell me precisely what the problem is?
Well, I generally love your film channel, but I have to say I'm really unhappy about the amount of advertising there is these days. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can't watch a film for more than 10 minutes without an advert.
Have you considered upgrading to Premium Plus? Premium Plus does not have any advertising while films are in progress and is available for only £5 extra a month.
Don't get me wrong. I'm willing to pay for a good service, but I think £5 a month extra is far too much.
I understand what you are saying, sir. There are a number of free trial offers for this package at the moment. Would you be interested in one of those?
Well, that would depend on the deal.
Literature Corner 2. Page 38. Exercise 2. Read and listen.
The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Tom? No answer. Tom? No answer. What's gone with that boy, I wonder? You, Tom? No answer. The old lady pulled her spectacles down and looked over them about the room. Then she put them up and looked out under them. She seldom or never looked through them for so small a thing as a boy. They were her state pair, the pride of her heart, and were built for style, not service. She could have seen through a pair of stove lids just as well. She looked perplexed for a moment, and then said, not fiercely, but still loud enough for the furniture to hear, "Well, I lay if I get hold of you, I'll—" She did not finish, for by this time she was bending down and punching under the bed with the broom, and so she needed breath to punctuate the punches with. She resurrected nothing but the cat. I never did see the beat of that boy. She went to the open door and stood in it and looked out among the tomato vines and gypsum weeds that constituted the garden. No Tom. So she lifted up her voice at an angle calculated for distance and shouted, "You, Tom!" There was a slight noise behind her, and she turned just in time to seize a small boy by the slack of his roundabout and arrest his flight. "There! I might have thought of that closet. What you been doing in there?" "Nothing." "Nothing? Look at your hands, and look at your mouth. What is that truck?" "I don't know, Aunt." "Well, I know. It's jam. That's what it is. 40 times I've said if you didn't let that jam alone, I'd skin you. Hand me that switch." The switch hovered in the air. The peril was desperate. "My, look behind you, Aunt." The old lady whirled round and snatched her skirts out of danger. The lad fled on the instant, scrambled up the high board fence, and disappeared over it. His Aunt Polly stood surprised a moment, and then broke into a gentle laugh. "Hang the boy! Can't I never learn anything? Ain't he played me tricks enough like that for me to be looking out for him by now?"
Skills Roundup 3 to 4. Page 39. Listen. Exercises 1 and 2. Listen to the dialogue.
Here, Carolyn, you can have everything in these bags.
Wow! Thanks, John. Don't you want these games or these DVDs?
No, I've decided to change my ways. I'm trying to spend more time being active.
Why?
Well, I think I spend too much time playing games and watching films, not to mention spending time on social networking sites and texting friends.
Are you giving those things up too?
Not yet. I think it'd be too hard to give up everything, and I really like chatting with friends online, so that would be the last thing to go, if I ever even considered it. Also, texting is necessary sometimes, but I'm going to try to cut back on texting jokes and silly messages.
That's a good idea. I don't think I could give up texting or social networking sites. I would feel out of touch with everyone. So, what are you going to do to be more active?
I've joined a basketball league. I've always enjoyed playing, but I just haven't kept up with it. We practice at the weekend, and we have a game once a week in the evening. It's a commitment of about 5 hours a week, so my studies won't suffer.
That's a terrific idea. My brother used to be in a football league, but matches were cancelled or postponed due to weather so often that he just quit. Now he spends his free time in front of the TV and online. Actually, he'll enjoy some of these games.
That's one reason why I chose basketball. The league plays its games indoors at the sports centre, so there aren't any cancellations due to weather. The other good thing is that the members of the basketball league can use the gym at the sports centre, so I lift weights there too.
Really? That's a nice deal. I've heard the new pool at the sports centre is brilliant, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe I'll come to watch one of your games, and then I can check out the pool as well.
Sure. Our next game is Tuesday at 7:30.
Brilliant. I'll be there, and I'll see if I can get my brother to come along. It may motivate him to become more active too.
Terrific. And as long as you're coming, maybe you could take some photos of our team. I want to put them online.
Sure, I'll bring my camera. See you then. Thanks for the things again, John.